At Lawson State Community College, you can, of course, file complaints or incident reports against students in serious cases. So I'm going to walk you through how to do those things. First, click on Faculty and Staff from the main website, and it's going to take you to the Faculty and Staff Quick Links page. And one of the things I want to call your attention to is that there's two different things. One, report a concern. This is actually going to walk you through the guidelines. What we want to avoid is having to report concerns over and over again online. The only time you're ever going to use a complaint form to submit a complaint is when you have tried all other informal recommendations from the institution to resolve the complaint. So I'm going to go ahead and click on first report a concern, walk you through that, and then report an incident and talk about those differences. So if I click on report a concern, please make sure you review the complaint process at Lawson State. We have different steps that we want you to follow again before filing an actual formal complaint. What we have found is that as in most organizations, most complaints or concerns, if you just address them one-on-one with that individual and share with them your concerns, it can usually be worked out. So step one is to address the matter informally, one-on-one with that individual, as long as you feel safe and comfortable. If it's a harassment issue, of course, you may not feel safe or comfortable. So what you need to do is immediately report that to us so we can check on it. You can also follow step two, speak with the department chair or office director and see if they can handle it. But again, with harassment or retaliation complaints, we do allow you to skip to step three if step one or step two is not favorable to you. But in most situations, working through step one and step two will really resolve the matter, and that's what we're hoping for, before you actually have to file a formal complaint. Formal complaints can be filed by coming online, and they should always be filed online. So you have to do both. You can talk to your department chair if it's not worked out, then you need to just come online and file your complaint, and then the deans will handle it as well as the vice presidents. So step three means file a formal complaint, and just read the information and in terms of how do you file a complaint, and we'll go from there. If step three doesn't work, that means you filed a formal complaint, it was investigated by the deans, and a dean's resolution, which is the final resolution, did not resolve your complaint, you can actually file a formal grievance at the institution, and a hearing will be held on your behalf. This is highly unusual or very rare in terms of using it, but it's important for you to know the process. If you file a formal grievance, then a grievance hearing will be held. Down below are the definitions for harassment and retaliation, so it's important that you always read the definitions prior to ever filing something like a harassment or retaliation complaint. So if you file an actual complaint, just go ahead and click here, and it's going to take you to our online reporting incident form, and just follow the prompts for filing. It'll ask you things like, what are you filing, if it's a concern or complaint. Notice that concerns and complaint are different than harassment and retaliation, so make sure you select the correct one. And then fill out the information or the questions as they are being asked of you. Once you're done, you need to go ahead and submit. Sometimes, depending upon what you are filing, they will ask you for information such as witnesses to the incident, if you have any additional evidence you want to actually upload, and you will be able to upload information on this system. So what I would recommend, and what we strongly recommend, is that if you do have evidence, witness statements, anything that you want to add to your complaint or concern, then you can actually make sure you have that information in front of you and it's already scanned on your computer before you even, start filing the actual complaint. Okay? So that's how you do that. So I'm going to go back to the website. Let me see if I can get back there. Here we go. So I'm going to go back to the website and show you. Now we're going to switch to student situations. One thing that you need to be aware of per our student discipline code of conduct is that all incidents at Lawson State should be reported, whether you decide to issue a sanction against that student or not. A sanction, of course, is a penalty against a student. So let's say that you caught a student cheating maybe it was a plagiarism attempt, and you decided, well, I'm not going to give them a 0 on the assignment because you truly believe that they didn't understand what they were doing, that they unintentionally plagiarized. So you gave them some additional lessons, and now, the matter is resolved. And you're asking yourself, should I report that? The answer is actually yes. Even though you're not issuing a sanction, you should report that the incident occurred. And let me tell you why that's important. So let's say that Johnny is in your class for this semester and you had a plagiarism incident occur. You reported it. So it's now next semester. He's in English 102, and then there we go, another plagiarism problem. So now we see that it's a second report. So he can't then claim that he didn't know about plagiarism. Does that make sense? So that's why it's important, whether you issue a sanction or not, that's up to you as an instructor. But we need to track the behavior, and that's what this system does. Okay. Also, this system allows us to unify our sanctions. So we'll actually show you when you're in the system, whatever that sanction is, and it will match up or correspond with a particular sanction. And that way, it's a matter of fairness. But remember, before sanctions can be issued, students do have a right to due process. So on their end, once a sanction has been issued, students can, in a sense, file to try to remedy that sanction or try to knock it down based on evidence that they may have. So there are certain processes and procedures, but again, it's just important for you to read all of the information. Okay, so let's talk about how do you submit an incident. You just come here, make sure you read all of the information, the types of behavior you should report or code of conduct violations, as well as academic dishonesty violations. So you go ahead and it talks about the different steps you need to follow. Step 1, report the specific incident. Report it in the system, okay? And you need to provide, of course, evidence before you actually try to especially submit a sanction against a student. So I just clicked on the incident reporting system, and the only difference is the same system that we looked at earlier. But now, if you notice, you are submitting a student academic integrity violation for cheating, right? Or a code of conduct violation, depending upon what the issue is. It could also be a residence hall violation. So if you notice where it reads for employees only, this is where you're going to come in. So let's say a code of conduct violation. I select that one, and then I'll ask you various questions, and let's take a look. What's your relationship to the student, your faculty member possibly? Have you addressed the matter informally? They're asking, have you talked to the student about the situation? In all cases, there should be a yes, right? And then if you scroll down, it's going to ask you for more information. But what I want to draw your attention to is the fact that for code of conduct violations, you'll have a laundry list of things here. And you actually have to select the appropriate code of conduct violation that the student committed, right? So let's say that it's a code of conduct violation and it was for, let's see, disruptive behavior. Okay, so you select disruptive behavior, and down below you have to describe the incident and attach any documentation for the offense if you have it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But you do need to then outline, you want to name witnesses. So it walks you through, it's self-explanatory. It also will ask you what kind of resolution are you seeking, right? And so it's it's comprehensive, but it's also extremely important that you walk through the document. Once you're done, you just go ahead and submit it, and then someone will be in contact with you in terms of additional questions or answers. And that's all you have to do. If you have any additional questions or if you need more training, please contact the Office of the Center for Teaching Excellence and Learning. We'll be happy to do one-on-one training on request just for you. Thank you.